Why your healing isn't holding you back. It's building your empire. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French, and I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I want to share something with you that came from a conversation I had recently with Barbara Tate-Ward, a woman whose work is nothing short of revolutionary. Barbara is transforming the way we think about leadership, healing, and what it means to build a life that doesn't just survive, but thrives. She's helping Black women, especially those of us who've been carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, understand that healing isn't a detour from success, it's the foundation. And what she shared with me during our interview has stayed with me ever since. It's changed the way I see my own journey, my own leadership, and my own legacy. And I believe it will change the way you see yours too. So let me ask you something. How many of you have been told that healing is something you do after you've made it, after you've built the business, after you've raised the kids, after you've proven yourself, after you've earned the right to rest? How many of you have been taught that taking time to address your trauma, your pain, your exhaustion is a luxury you can't afford right now? Raise your hand if you've ever thought, I'll deal with that later. I'll rest when I'm done. I'll heal when I have time. I'll take care of me when everyone else is okay. I see you. I've been you. I am you. I grew up in the 80s. Drugs heavily impacted my upbringing, creating trauma bonds and codependency within my family. And for years, I thought the way forward was to outrun the pain, to work harder, to be stronger, to prove I was different, to build a life so successful that the past couldn't touch me. But here's what I learned, and here's what Barbara Tate Ward helped me see even more clearly. Healing isn't what you do after success. Healing is what makes success sustainable. Let me say that again because I need you to hear this. Healing is what makes success sustainable. We've been sold a story that says you grind first, heal later, that you sacrifice now, rest later, that you carry everyone else first, and maybe if there's anything left, you take care of yourself. But that story is killing us. It's killing our joy. It's killing our peace. It's killing our relationships. And it's keeping us from the kind of leadership, the kind of life, the kind of legacy we actually want to build. Barbara Tate Ward shared something with me that I want you to hear. She said that when people, especially Black professionals and entrepreneurs, address trauma bonds, codependency, and generational patterns, they don't just feel better, they become better leaders. They build healthier relationships. They make clearer business decisions. They show up differently in their homes, in their work, in their communities. Healing isn't soft, healing is strategic. Let me tell you about a woman I learned about through Barbara's work. She's a Black female practice owner. She built a business, she led a team, she served her community. And on paper, she was successful. She had the title, she had the income, she had the respect. But behind the scenes, she was carrying the weight of generational trauma, family expectations, and the pressure to be everything to everyone. She was exhausted, she was isolated, and she was starting to wonder if success was supposed to feel this heavy. She would wake up in the morning already tired. She would show up to work already drained. She would come home and have nothing left for herself. And she kept thinking, if I can just push a little harder, if I can just get through this season, if I can just prove that I'm capable, then I'll rest, then I'll heal, then I'll take care of me. But that day never came because when you're running on survival, there is no finish line. There's only the next crisis, the next demand, the next person who needs you, the next fire you have to put out. So instead of pushing through, Instead of pretending she was fine, she did something radical. She made healing part of her leadership, not separate from it, part of it. She started doing the inner work. She started addressing the trauma bonds. She started setting boundaries. She started asking herself what kind of leader she actually wanted to be, not just what kind of leader she thought she had to be. And here's what happened: her business didn't fall apart, her leadership didn't weaken. In fact, the opposite happened. She became more grounded, more intentional, more clear. She built a professional identity rooted in both practice ownership and intentional healing. And in doing so, she gave permission to other Black women in business and healthcare spaces to do the same. That's what healing does. It doesn't take you away from your purpose, it brings you closer to it. Now, I want to talk about something else Barbara Tate-Ward introduced me to. It's called the Black Woman Healing Fund. And when I first heard about it, I had to pause because here's what it represents: it represents the belief that Black women's healing is not just important, it's worthy of investment, it's worthy of resources, it's worthy of support. The Black Woman Healing Fund was created to support Black women on their healing journeys, big or small. Because here's the truth: Black women face barriers to healing support that are real and that are costly. We face financial barriers. We face access barriers, and we face the burden of carrying emotional labor while helping everyone else heal. We're the ones holding space for our families, our friends, our communities, but who's holding space for us? The fund provides direct support backed by patrons, creating a concrete mechanism for healing access. It expands the idea that healing should be resourced, not just encouraged. And it contributes to a broader movement that treats Black women's mental health and healing as worthy of investment, not as a side project, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Because here's what we need to understand: support systems matter. Black women and Black professionals thrive when they have safe spaces, community care, and access to resources that honor their lived experience. We don't just need to be told to heal, we need to be supported in healing. We need to be resourced in healing. We need to be seen in healing. Let me share one more story with you. There was a recent study that captured intergenerational dialogue among three Black women, a faculty member, and two students about their experiences in the academy. And what they talked about was the emotional weight of navigating institutional spaces while carrying layered personal and historical pressures. They talked about what it felt like to show up in spaces that weren't built for them, to carry the weight of representation, to manage the emotional labor of being the only one or one of the few, to smile when they were hurting, to be strong when they were breaking, to lead when they were exhausted. But here's what was powerful: the dialogue itself functioned as a healing practice. The act of naming their lived experience, of being honest across generations, created connection, insight, and resilience. It showed that intergenerational truth telling supports healing. It showed that when we create spaces where Black women can speak honestly about what we're carrying, we don't just survive, we heal, we grow, we build something stronger for the next generation. And that brings me to something I want you to really sit with. You can break generational patterns. Family trauma does not have to define your legacy. Intentional work can create healthier relationships for the next generation. I know what it's like to grow up in a home where trauma was passed down like a family heirloom, where codependency was the language of love, where survival was the only strategy anyone knew. And for a long time, I thought that was just how it was. I thought that was my inheritance. But learning to heal with intention, doing the work, helped me break generational curses and create healthy relationships with my own little family that God blessed me with. And here's what I want you to know: you are not bound by what was handed to you. You are not defined by the pain you inherited. You have the power to do the work, to break the cycle, to build something different. And when you do that work, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone who comes after you. Barbara Tate-Ward's work is rooted in this truth. Healing is not a detour, healing is the path. And when we treat healing as a leadership strategy, when we treat it as a business strategy, when we treat it as a life strategy, everything changes. So, here are the three things I want you to take with you today. First, healing is strategic. Personal healing improves leadership, boundaries, and decision making in business and life. It's not a distraction from your goals, it's the foundation that makes your goals sustainable. When you heal, you lead better, you love better, you live better. Second, you can break generational patterns. Family trauma does not have to define your legacy. Intentional work can create healthier relationships for the next generation. You are not stuck. You are not bound. You have the power to choose differently. You have the power to write a new story. Third, support systems matter. Black women and Black professionals thrive when they have safe spaces, community care, and access to resources that honor their lived experience. You don't have to do this alone. You were never meant to do this alone. Community is not a luxury. Community is survival. Community is healing. Community is power. And now, I want to leave you with a question. It's the question that Barbara Tate-Ward's work keeps bringing me back to. And it's the question I want you to sit with long after this talk is over. What would change in your business, your home, and your self worth if you treated healing as a leadership strategy instead of a personal side project? What would change if you stopped waiting until you've earned the right to rest and started building rest into the foundation of how you lead? What would change if you stopped treating your trauma like something to hide and started treating it like information that can guide you toward healthier decisions? What would change if you gave yourself permission to be soft, to be whole, to be human, not after you've made it, but right now in the middle of the building? I'll tell you what would change. Everything. Your relationships would get healthier. Your leadership would get clearer. Your business would get stronger. Your peace would get deeper. And the legacy you leave behind wouldn't just be about what you built. It would be about how you built it and who you became in the process. This is the work Barbara Tate-Ward is doing. This is the work we're all invited into. And this is the work that will change the world. Because when Black women heal, we don't just heal ourselves, we heal our families. We heal our communities. We heal the systems we lead. We heal the spaces we occupy. And we create a world where the next generation doesn't have to choose between success and softness. They get to have both. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to stop treating healing like it's optional. I want you to stop treating rest like it's a reward. I want you to stop treating softness like it's weakness, because it's not. Healing is power, rest is resistance, softness is strength. And I want you to ask yourself right now, what is one thing I've been putting off healing because I thought I didn't have time? What is one boundary I've been afraid to set because I thought it would make me selfish? What is one pattern I've been repeating because I thought it was just the way things are? Write it down, say it out loud, share it with someone you trust, and then make a commitment today to do something about it. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when you have more time, today, because your healing is not holding you back. Your healing is building your empire, and the world is waiting for the version of you that's whole, that's rested, that's free. The world is waiting for the leader you become when you stop surviving and start thriving. The world is waiting for the legacy you leave when you choose healing, when you choose softness, when you choose you. So choose you. Choose healing. Choose your soft girl era, not as an escape from responsibility, but as a return to yourself, a return to rest, a return to boundaries, a return to joy, a return to the kind of life that doesn't just look good on the outside, but feels good on the inside. Healing is not a detour from success. Healing is the foundation that makes sustainable success possible. And you, my love, are worthy of that foundation. You are worthy of that support. You are worthy of that softness. You are worthy of that peace. You are worthy of that joy. You are worthy of that rest. Now go build the life, the business, the legacy you were always meant to have. Not by working harder, but by healing deeper. Not by doing more, but by being whole, not by proving your strength, but by embracing your softness. The world doesn't need another exhausted Black woman carrying everyone else. The world needs you healed, whole, and free. So go be that. Go live that. Go lead from that place and watch everything change.